did seeing them and their journey, influence that entrepreneur spirit in you? Or like, what did seeing what they were going through, how did that affect you? Like, how did that motivate you growing up?
Financially, I mean, we couldn't do things that I can do today for my daughter, right? Like, I remember wanting to go on vacations. We couldn't really do that. I remember going to stores and I was a big video gamer when I was young, and I wanted to buy video games, and my mom was like, no, we can't do that. Mm-hmm. Or, I wanted some shoes, and we couldn't purchase those things. So it was more so just for kind of freedom and, flexibility, I guess you could say, right? Just the ability to do what we wanted when we wanted it in terms of just purchasing, right? We were really poor, man. Like, we really didn't have anything to show for what we were doing. And so I just knew that I wanted to be able to create something where I didn't have to deal with that in my life. And I didn't know how I was going to get there. I really didn't. Yeah. But they just kept saying to me, just keep, study hard, work hard, and create a life. They would always say, work harder now and get an education now so you don't have to live the life we live. We want you to have a better life than we have. They would always say that. Yeah. And so that was always my drive, is just, how can I do that? And they were always hardworking people. They just didn't have high income skill sets, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things where you think about, those old sayings, hard work breeds success, right? And they don't, well, success means different things, right? And different applications. But when you talk about, being able to be financially independent or get yourself to a position where, you can do what you want to do, for your family, and it's not causing a hardship. When you look at success in those terms, hard work does not always equate to that, right? And coming from a place where you've seen this, you actually did, and even coming from a place where you see this, and then the messaging is get your education so you can get a good job. That doesn't always equate to it either, as you mentioned earlier. Hey, I'm in a 6-figure gig, and I'm still trying to figure out how to make all these things meet and connect at the end of the day. But in this business, you are able to generate that income, and you're also able to have the mindset knowledge to actually continue to expand and scale and grow it. But going back to growing up and following that path of get my education, get a good job, you did that. How did you get to? Then you moved. Did you go to college and then go into your director and the traveling, the things that you were doing prior? How did you get into that space before you discovered this business?
So it's funny because so we lived in New York at the time, finished high school, and I said, that's it. I'm moving out of here. I don't want to deal with this nonsense. And then I kind of wanted some space for my parents to just be my own person, right? So I moved out 2 months later, moved to Arizona on a whim. Parents stayed back. I'm by myself, living in an apartment, working full time, no dorm, no scholarship, nothing. Dude, I'm just like, packed up. Dad, let's go. Let's pack the U-Haul. Let's help me move cross country. Straight up, that's what we did. And so I moved here 2 months later, working full time, doing retail sales.
That's the work ethic. That's the work ethic, whatever it takes. Yeah.
Whatever it takes, dude. And so I'm working full time. I'm going to school full time. Now, mind you, this is my first time living by myself. I'm 18 years old. Never cooked for myself on a regular, basis. I got to clean all my stuff. You got to fend for yourself, right? And so I'm like, dude, what am I, like, looking back, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, that was a complete change. And so I actually didn't set myself up for success because it was such a radical change. But at the same time, it made me mature super quick because I'm like, I got to figure this out, because I had no one to fall back on. It's me, myself, and I at 18 years old. And I put myself in that position. No one told me to go do that. It was just my instincts, go do it. Right. So the move to Arizona was actually one of the best things we could have done for our family, just because of the climate here, not only weather, but just the economy and everything in Arizona helped set us up for a great future, which, looking back was awesome. But moving here was one of the hardest things I've had to do, man, because of all those transitions. And so my folks moved out here 6 months later. I moved back in with them because I had to get grounded. My education was falling off. I was not performing well at work. My health was deteriorating. I was all over the place at a really young age. And so I said, all right, I need to get some more stability, because I was working a commission only job while I was going to school at 18 years old. And it was just really difficult. Right. So I ended up taking a job doing call center sales. I was making $12 an hour plus commission. And I exceeded expectations, and I did well really quickly. And so I just started down the path of just kind of working my way up within the call center space. I, went from being a rep doing customer service sales to eventually becoming a supervisor, leading a team of 15 people, sometimes, 15 to 20 people.
Yeah.
To then I got my undergrad at ASU. After I got my undergrad at ASU, I then started to move up the chain kind of in corporate America, getting some more managerial roles. And I was finding success there because I really didn't know anything else. I became good at what I was doing, and I was using my education to help me fuel my career in the call center business. And then, so I hopped around at a few different companies, mainly it was call center outsourcing. So we were managing the operations for different Fortune 500 companies, whether it's their sales work, their tech support work, customer service, whatever. And so I really kind of fell into that industry too, man, because I actually was able to make more money in the call center business compared to the retail space. Yeah. So it helped me kind of have a stable income. It helped me make more money, and really helped me focus on school. And then I actually went back for a master's degree because I thought, at the time, this is, a few years back, obviously, but at the time, in order to separate yourself, I thought, a bachelor's degree, everyone has one, but you get a master's degree. Okay, now you got a leg up on somebody. Now you're going to be able to get those executive leadership positions, right? That's kind of what I was being told or thought anyway. So I went and got my master's degree, finished that. And then, I was able to move into some executive leadership roles and doing kind of what I mentioned earlier. And, it was great. I learned a lot. It really, I think, set me up for being an entrepreneur, because I say it like this, Rod. I was in charge of my business, but I wasn't the CEO, right?
Right.
I was hands off. They'd said, "Hey, you run the show. You're in charge of finance, operation, business relationships, X, Y, like everything, and so it allowed me to be autonomous. I can work for myself, but work for a company at the same time, right, and just kind of lead my business. And so that was when I started to realize, like, okay, I'm kind of running my own business, even though it's a portion of this organization, right? And so it's, well, how do I turn that into something where I can generate more income, serve more people, and make more money? Right. And insurance was never even on the radar, dude. Insurance was never on the radar at all. I was literally looking at opening up gyms. I was looking at different franchises. I was just looking at everything that was out there that, people are aware of.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I ended up falling into insurance because of a buddy, which I'm super grateful for.
Here we go. So let's take it there, man. You're successful in your career, right? Most people would look at you at this point in your life and say, "Man, you made it. You're living a dream. You got the corporate gig. You're making the money. You're traveling around." It's like when I think of this, and we talk about the American dream in a conventional sense, it actually. Well, let me ask you. Do you feel like it when you take that route, right? And everyone, this is not to discredit anybody, but do you feel like that actually represents what the American dream is all about, or is it more of the American illusion?
I think you're actually sacrificing your dream to go the corporate route. And I mean that with no disrespect, because obviously I lived there for 18 plus years, right? But yes, you have what you think is stability. Yes, you have this job that's cushy and you kind of do your thing. But here's the thing that people tend to forget. That rug can be pulled out right from under you at any second.
Anytime.
Dude, I got a phone call in March of 2017 after being with this company for over 5 years, performance in great shape, never a warning, never nothing. Hey, Julius, we're basically letting you go. Like that was the message, right? Hey, Julius, we're letting you go. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, what? What just happened, right? Like, what do I do? Oh, we're going to give you a severance. Your last day is this. We wish you the best of luck. If you need anything from us, let us know. It's like, wait, what? So now I'm, a single dad, no income. I got a severance trying to figure this whole thing out. And I'm like, okay, and here's what's crazy, Rod, is at that point in time, I'm like, I'm never going to put myself in a position where I have to worry again, because that was stressful, man. Not knowing how I'm going to earn my next dollar because I just got laid off was probably the most stressful thing that I've ever had to endure, because now my financial stability is no longer stable, right? Like there is no stability. I have no income.
Yeah.
What I've known for 18 years is now wiped out. And so I sat back and thought, all right, I can't ever let that happen again. And I really thought that that would never happen to me, because I'm a high performer. I'm always on my game. Like, I'm doing what I need to do to run my business. But, when you work at a company, you don't make that call. Someone is in charge of your destiny. And that's where I realized that that's not the American dream. You controlling your time, your flexibility, your income, how you spend it, how you do it all, that's the American dream. And so I'm thankful that I was able to get my license, because now I'm actively living the American dream.
Powerful, man.